Hello, this is Miss Leon. I am going to go ahead and go through the review, giving you just kind of a sample and an explanation of what we're doing. The first thing I want you to look at is we're going to use this acronym CUBES. The reason why is I want you to make sure that you are reading the questions all of the way before you actually answer them. That way you are not forgetting anything. The first step, it says, is to encircle important numbers. So when you're reading story problems, circle important numbers. The next step is to underline the question that is being asked. So I'm literally going to underline this part of it. So it says, underline the question that's being asked. It says, box the important math clue words and then evaluate how you will solve the problem, what strategies you're going to use to solve. And then last but not least, we're going to solve the problem and check our work. Super, super important. So the first question right here, it says the product of two factors is 15,000. One of the factors is 3,000. What is the other factor? So the question actually is, it's being asked is, what is the other factor? So some of those math clue words that are important is product and factors. That's three places, and I'm going to highlight that. It is important to know what a product is, and it is important to know what a factor is. And so we know that there are two different numbers. We need to know the two factors. So the product is 15,000. If I'm looking right here, it's showing me that the product is 15,000 right up here. It says that one of the factors is 3,000. So one of those factors, we see it right here, is 3,000. What we're trying to find out is, what is the other factor? That's what we don't know, is that right there. The strategy that we have been learning is that we kind of build up by using our basic math facts. So when I'm looking at this, I see 3 and I see 15. So I know that 3 times a certain number is going to equal 15. And I think about that and I'm like, oh yeah, I know it's 3 times 5 equals 15. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to continue to build onto this because I want to make sure that I'm understanding what I'm doing all the way. So it says we're building on to this 3,000 part. So we're not there yet. We're at 3, now we're at 30. So 30 times some number equals 150. So what number could that be? Well, 3 times 5 is 15, plus a 0 is 150. All right, let's take this another step. I'm going to make this a 300 times some number, and I'm going to add another 0 onto the back here to get this bumped up. 300 times some number equals 1,500. So I know that 3 times some number, which is 5, is 15, plus 2 zeros on the back. Now, I'm doing 3,000 times some number equals 15,000. So here we go. Ooh, I missed that 0. 3,000 times some number equals 15,000. So 3 times some number equals 15. That's 3 times 5 equals 15. I have 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3 zeros. So that is 15,000. So it says, what is the other factor? The other factor is 5. Because remember, two factors multiplied together equals a product. Another thing I want you to remember about this is when we're doing these kinds of problems, we use our fact family pyramid because at the very top is the biggest number in the family. We have a little number at the bottom, I call that little a, and another littler number on this side, little b. So little a times little b, the two factors, multiply to make the product at the top. The next question is, write an equation for 24 times 13 using the distributive property. So we're writing an equation for the distributive property. Create an array or an area model to help you. So I know that 24 times 13, I'm going to do this array or area model so I can see how to break this up according to place value. I know that 24 is broken up by 20 and 4, 4, and 13 is 10 and 3. In this box, I am doing 10 times 20. This box right here, I am doing 10 times 4. This box, I'm doing 10, sorry about that, 3 times 20. In this box down here, I am doing 3 times 4. So I could multiply this out and figure out the rest of this, but I don't necessarily need to. It's not asking me to solve. It's just asking me to write the equation for this problem. So I know that I'm using the distributive property because we're going to have to distribute out. I know that I am distributing this 10 to this 20. I know that I am distributing this 10 to this 4. I know that I am distributing this 3 to this 20. And I know that I am distributing this 3 to this 4. So how that would look is 20 plus 4 times 3, times 10 plus 3. And that is how you write that down, because I know that 20 plus 4 is 24, putting that together and associating that together. And then 10 plus 3, the 13 is 10 plus 3, and associating that together. We're making sure that we take those associations and grouping them together. They were added together, and we need to multiply those two groupings. The next question that's being asked is, Hannah's garden is 11 feet long and 5 feet wide. So I know that Hannah's garden is 11 feet long and 5 feet wide. Abby's garden is 13 feet long and 4 feet wide. We want to know what is the area, underlining that question, of Hannah's garden. Highlighting that out, the area. So I know by using an area model, I'm going to label this 10 and 1 is 11, expanded out, times 5. So I am going to do, I'm going to choose a color here, do blue. 5 times 10 is 50, and 5 times 1 is 5. Going to add that up. 50 plus 5 is 55. And that is for Hannah's garden. Now I need to find the area of Aby'S garden. That's the question. What is the area of Aby'S garden? I take area, and we're going to do an area model multiplication. Aby'S garden is 13 feet. 10 and 3 is 13 times 4 feet. I'm going to distribute this out. This 4 is distributed to the 10. 4 times 10 equals 40. I'm distributing this 4 to this 3. 4 times 3, which is 12. I am going to put these together now. 40 plus 12 is 52, and that is Aby'S garden. Now, the next part of this, part C, is I need to find out what is the difference between the two areas of the two gardens. So I need to find the difference. How are they different? How much space is between these two areas that make Hannah's bigger than Aby's? So the difference between the areas of the two gardens. So I'm going to take Hannah's amount, since it seems to be larger than Aby's, 55, and I am going to take Aby's amount, which is 52, away from that. So 55 take away 52 is 3 square feet. That's the difference, was 3 feet. Our last problem also comes in two parts. They want to know what is the product of 37 and 12. Product is a key word. Your numbers are 37 and 12, and they say and because that means that you're going to be multiplying those together. The area model shows the product. Enter the values of the partial product. So we're entering the values of the partial products in the boxes. Enter values of partial products in the boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply this out. I know in here, this part, this is 10 times 30. This is not very easy to read through there. Let's find something darker. 10 times 30. We do 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 zeros, 300. So I know that A equals 300. Then I have to distribute this 10 to the 7. So 10 times 7 equals 70. So B equals 70. I have C, which is I'm distributing the 2 to this 30. So 2 times 30, which is 2 times 6 is your basic multiplication problem. 2 times 3 is your basic multiplication problem, which is 6, with 1 0 on the back. So C is 60, and D is 2 times 7, distributed the 2 to the 7, which is 14. So I know that D, the partial product, is 14. That's those values that I'm going to enter into those different boxes. Now it tells you to evaluate the product, which is very confusing when they say the word evaluate, because what they're asking you to do here is to actually get the full answer by taking all of the partial products and adding them up. So I have 300 plus 70 plus 60 plus 14. I'm going to make sure that if this answers in the thousands, I add any commas that I need to. But I have 0 plus 0 plus 0, which is 4. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. Drop the 4. Regroup the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. So I have 444 as the product. That's what I evaluated. That's what I found out the product to be. These were my partial products. I put together the partial products to get the full product. I hope this helps. Thank you.